Do you hear me?
Yes. Yes, we can.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. ربنا اغفر لنا وارحمنا وأنت خير الراحمين. لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم. وصل اللهم على محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه وأتباعه وسلم. لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم. اللهم نور قلوبنا بنور الإيمان والقرآن والإسلام وبمعرفتك. اللهم استخدمنا في خدمة القرآن والإيمان والإسلام بالسعادة والسلامة والصحة والعافية والإخلاص والصبر والسكينة. وصل اللهم على محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه وأتباعه وسلم. ربنا اغفر لنا وارحمنا وأنت خير الراحمين. Inshallah, we will continue the story of Jesus in the story of Abraham in the Quran. And we studied the verse from Baqarah, chapter Baqarah, to 16. And the verse talks about the Prophet Abraham's request from God, saying that, please show me how you resurrect, create the things again, or give life to that body. This is called resurrection. It's not necessarily human body, but the body of everything, including to the universe. This is, we have to generalize it. Why we need to generalize it? Because it is important to see that universe is a body as well, and it is going to die. So if the universe is a body and it is going to die, it is a beginning, it is an end. Human body is the same, the plants, all the vegetations are the same. So how to give them life? Of course, we can understand in two ways. To create them again with a higher quality, dead, higher quality with life. So we should understand that the way the Quran speaks, it is very interesting. Of course, we hear that the human body will be resurrected again. That is not wrong. That is correct too. But it doesn't mean that we should understand the word, this word body, that body, relating to human beings only. We have to generalize it. But of course, we cannot expect other people to do the same thing as we are doing in these discussions, they may be able to generalize it, they may not be able to generalize it. That is up to their capacity, that is intention, etc. But we are expected to do it. Excuse me. After this generalization, we have to remember one more point that we keep reminding each other. This is very important as a principle of understanding the Quran. The principle of understanding the Quran necessitates that we have to bear in mind that the Quran speaks to human beings, and human beings' capacity is a created capacity. I don't mean the limitedness of it, but createdness of the human existence, or the existence of everything, including the universe, including everything in it, the stars, everything. Rather than transience, the first thing we have to understand that they are created, which means they have beginning and end. That is why they are, or of human beings, and generally we think that they are limited, especially when it comes to our minds are limited as well. No, created. Or created means depending on the will of the creator, choice of the creator, you should have this capacity and another creature will have that capacity. So capacity means created, means limited, but at the same time, transient. So we have to bear in mind that. So I am able to think of the absolute infinite in terms of my createdness and limitedness, transience as well. But createdness necessitates limitedness. That's why we have to bear in mind. But practically, we can use limited. Practically, but we have to know that createdness is the essence of our reality. So the Quran speaks to me and gives the example which is available for me. I can experience it. I can really look into it. So Abraham said, "Oh my Lord, show me how you give life to the dead." With قال إبراهيم رب أرني كيف تحيي الأرض بعد كيف تحيي الموتى. I went to another verse. So قال أولم تؤمن. Don't you believe? What does it mean? Don't you believe? Don't you believe that the one who creates the universe is able to do everything? What we generally understand, the creator of the universe, the source of existence of the universe, can do anything as he wants. He chooses, because we see that the universe has been designed and everything is created, arranged, and taken care of, their needs, everything, by the one who gave the existence to the whole order of the universe. Okay, that is what means that don't you believe what Abraham is going to say? Bella, definitely I do. All right. Yes. Okay. ولكن ليطمئن قلبي. This is the key point of the verse, even of the Quran. believing is a rational activity, intellectual activity. You can conclude that anything, take an object, anything, okay, let me take my glasses. I can easily conclude that this glass cannot come into existence by itself. This is the simplest creature in the world. So compared to other creatures. So for example, comparing to living beings, it is even it cannot be the billionth of their quality, a billionth. So we understand that this is definitely in need of being given existence by something else. That is clear. If the simple classes need to be made, the universe and everything within the universe definitely solves. We understand that. That's why belief, I say, is very easy. Most of the people of the earth believe in a creator, a kind of creator, but they may attribute it to something else, the cause of existence of everything. But when it comes to universe, those people who are not exposed to revelation, there are billions of people in the world who are not exposed to revelation. We know that in China and in some part of these Asian continent, they now, before we don't know, but now they don't know any revelation. They know only a certain tradition which explains the universe within the existence of universe within the universe itself. And those people have not been exposed to revelation. I've seen, I mentioned this and I was amazed that the people in America, everybody hears God. Even they have the money in their paper money, in God we trust. Oh, they know, they are very familiar with the word God. But of course, depends on what they understand from it. But go back to these people who have not been exposed to any revelation, and they don't know the name of God. Even they cannot think of the Creator. I was amazed. They cannot think of the Creator. Of course. I mean, I can think of definitely these glasses need a maker, but when it comes to the universe, human mind, not easily they can go beyond the limitations of the universe and say, look, this universe also need a creator, but where is it? I understand the glasses are made by human beings or factories designed by intellectual beings, and the plans of the factories as well designed by intellectual beings. But when it comes to the universe, I cannot think of any existent being beyond the limitations of the universe. So to believe in God is important, but they have to say that they have to make a way of explaining the existence of the universe in a way. But if they were introduced to the concept of the creator of the universe, who is not a part of the universe, then their mind starts using that is a logical necessity.
Can I ask something, Brother Ali?
Okay, let me repeat this word. Logical necessity. Okay, go ahead.
So basically, from what I understood, you said before in some classes that we don't need revelation to make a conclusion about an absolute source, that there must be a creator. No. I recall this. So you're saying that some societies may not have exposure to revelation, and they cannot fathom this idea or concept that there must be something beyond this universe.
I understand.
So what
No,
is the point you're trying to make here?
no, not beyond the universe. They say something, something. We don't know. Something, something. Not an existent being beyond the universe. No, there must be a cause of existence, something of these objects, these things, not in when it comes to the entirety of the universe, their mind, if they have not been introduced and trained in this way, they cannot go beyond the universe and logically, not imaginarily, logically confirm the necessity of the of an existent being. So we must be introduced to this idea. So I think now we should understand it in this way. The entirety of the universe, no. But when it comes to the entirety of the universe, this is the problem. But we have to remember an event which took place in during the life of the prophet, and it is narrated to us. It is a very interesting event, and it is really narrated in the most accepted, authentic sources. Almost all Muslims accept this in Bukhari. One day, a believing company came to the prophet and said, my slave, the slavery practically was not really abrogated that time. They must have been, otherwise the prophet would say, come on, what are you doing with the slave? So, and he said, his slave is a believing lady, woman. She says she believes in God. And so shall I just really free her and let her be free, because I don't want to keep a believing person as my slave. That is the sensitivity that the companions of the prophet were really learning and gaining in the course of their introduction into the real Islam, or real means complete Islam. The prophet says, okay, bring her to me. And she came. He brought her and she came. And he asked, do you, no. You said that you believe in God, correct? She said, yes. Where is he? Look, it is very interesting that the prophet delicately teaches us something. Where is he? What did she do? I love this example. She did this. You see my finger, don't you? Pointing to the sky. And then the prophet turned to his companion. He said, yes, she believes in God. This is the minimum level of belief in God. Maximum is unimaginable, but higher. That depends on you. Minimum, it means not attached to the thing itself, within itself. It means above it, beyond it. But the prophet did not ask her, up where? Of course, she might have been something above and beyond it, but not, she wouldn't know, I'm guessing, God is beyond the capacity of the universe because his nature of reality is completely different from the universe, cannot be described with the conditions of this universe. That is the quite higher intellectual exercise needed there. So we should understand, if someone comes to me and we are discussing a college student who has not been educated, trained in religion, it's very understandable. Not many people, although the people claim to believe in God, but they are not trained in, they don't really, usually, majority of the people are not interested in studying the details of their belief. You are exceptional, a handful of people. So, alhamdulillah. If you ask a college student, do you believe that a cell just develops within itself, by itself, accidentally? Or there is another cause, a reason or factor gives existence to it? If he says yes, of course, nowadays people put a label, nature itself, but still, it is not developing within itself, by itself, is the beginning of believing God. First degree. All right. And from there continues. Okay, this is the response to my friend's question. So we have to see the capacity of the people. We have to see the cultural background of the people, whether they were exposed to the revelation or not. And then it is not our duty to pass judgment on other people, but at the same time, we should not label the people, innocent people, as unbelievers because they don't believe in the Quran or they don't believe in God as the Quran describes it. That is too much. Especially nowadays, it is too much expectation. So, our subject is this. Quran speaks to us within our capacity as much as we can experience right now. It is a universal message, including to me too, by giving the example of Abrahamic miracle or miraculous happening in Abraham's time. When it is, doesn't matter, thousands of years ago, doesn't matter. What we know that in Abraham's time, he has not been trained in understanding the creation as much as you are. So when you say Adam, he doesn't understand what you understand now from Adam. So this is the introduction to the following of the verse. So but Abraham said, yeah, I believe, that is, we discussed, but just to put my heart at rest. What does it mean? My feelings must be satisfied. The question, how my feelings can be satisfied? And God answers this question. Let's come to our friend. If she doesn't mind, I will mention the name. She is among us. She is a very close follower and also our beloved friend and followers of our discussions here, Afshan, our friend Afshan. Here is her question. Okay. Question. Here, Prophet Abraham is asking to witness a miracle, maybe although the Quran doesn't say miracle, but I accept it. Yeah, I can take it as a miracle because my understanding of miracle is so wide. So miracle from God. He requested a miracle from God in order to have a satisfied heart, or to have a heart at rest. Should I ask him now? Look at the slippery part now. Now, as you are, and you and I, experiencing the world and having all this accumulated information, should I ask him to break the order for me? Is it the breaking of the order? I'm asking this question. I would say, not in a challenging way, I am asking this. What do you mean by breaking the order? Is it possible? Where did you get this breaking the order mentioned in this verse? Okay. Also, although we can look at the Quran and the miracles are not mentioned as the breaking of the order. I don't remember anywhere in the Quran, as much as my very narrow knowledge of the Quran is concerned, there is no breaking of the order. Everything is taken within the order, but we may not experience it for the moment, one point. Another point, the order includes, the order of the universe includes in it to provide the miraculous, unaccustomed way of creation to the prophets at their time, at the time of their historical context. We have to understand this. At the time of their historical context, the people have not experienced this kind of things. That is why when they happen within the order of the universe, which is not experienced now, let me give a simple example, which are mentioned in the Quran. Noah's ark, for example. Solomon's flying in air. Are they breaking the order of the universe? No. A point to be thought. Perhaps I should ask for a miracle. Okay, that is what suggestion is. Abraham himself requested and required a miracle. Required a miracle. It is an example that we are reading in the Quran, and we can take it to ourselves. Okay, in order to believe in resurrection, it means returning, giving a life, higher level of existence of that body. Body is existent and is an existent being, but decorated with life, and human life plus spirit. It is a very higher level of existence. I am not a stone, for example. So let's understand this. Higher level of existence, giving life. In fact, we say, not compared to human life, the universe is alive, moving. Nothing is static. Everything is dynamic. But when we compare to the level of human life, they seem to be not alive. That is what we have to refresh or renew our minds, that universe is alive at the capacity or at their own capacity. Everything is alive. We see that the levels of life are different. Practical example, human level of life is different, decorated with, equipped with spirit, questioning, reasoning, or lots of almost infinite number of feelings. Animals are also called, animals means really animated beings, are also alive, but lower level of life they are experiencing as far as we can see. For example, their capacity is limited, I can experience it. Let's go further. Plant life seems to be not dynamic, but static, but very slowly change their life, their existence. But what is going on in the cell is incredible, very fast. So thousands of reactions are happening in a cell in a second. That's what they say, biology says. It means everything has different level of life. So you can imagine that mountains are also, mountains must have also their level of existence. So the whole universe is really, really, as the Quran says, they are going to die. And they need to be given a higher level of existence, which is called, in the language of the Quran, according to the descriptions of the Quran, that's what Quranic explanation, paradise, higher level of existence. Of course, hell is there too. That is also higher level of existence in minus, not plus, minus level. So that is what we should understand. Key point, satisfaction of heart. Belief in God is the rational activity. We said that's it. Everybody has some sort of rational activity. Some people may limit it within the universe. Some people really imprison it within the matter itself, and it is happening by itself. Some people say something else is really making the things work or exist as they are. But those people who are exposed to the revelation or revelations in plural, revelations, they are expected to understand from the revelation that every part, but at the same time, the whole body of the universe needs to be given existence by a one who is not a part of the universe, but it is only we can confirm it logically. Is it enough? No. For me, I don't consist of, my human capacity doesn't consist of logic only. I have many other feelings. The heart in the Quran represents the entirety of feelings, not necessarily spirit. Spirit includes the mind as well, intellectual capacity as well. So all of them, even the egoistic tendencies, are included in the capacity of the spirit. That is what makes human being a human being. How can we say that we don't have egoistic capacities, but trees don't have, seem to be animals don't have, but we do have. So that is a part of our human life. Now, let's go back to satisfaction of heart. My feelings also must be satisfied with it. That is what I understand in a simplest way. Logical conclusion must be re-evaluated. What is the word? Digested, regenerated, not regenerated. The animals eat and then they take it out and again, how do you say, chew that? Is it?
Regurgitate.
Say it again.
Regurgitate.
Yeah. Regurgitate. Yeah. Thank you, Noah. Noah Abdel. Thank you, my friend. Regurgitate. So we have to take it into our spirit from mind. It is already digested there and concluded there. Our spirit also that's so difficult for me. I recognize the word, I don't know how to, because it is not a usual language for me. Regurgitate, whatever. You understood. Now, our feelings must do it, and they should not feel strange. They must be satisfied with it. That is what in every day, practically what we do. If someone offers us a food looking beautiful, don't we like it? Like it. Is it anything to do with in physical terms? No. Is it the activity of reason, intellect? No. Emotions. When we eat it, we get the taste, yes. But when my stomach is satisfied, so my logic says stop eating. And also stomach informs my logic, my brain, stop eating. That is how the order is established. So I always use my intellect and my feelings together. When it comes to belief, also I must get it. For example, logically I understand the universe needs a creator, or anything of this, a part of this world needs a creator. And if someone is satisfied intellectually with it, they have to bring it down into their feelings and digest it there again, regurgitate, whatever. You know the word, regurgitate. I have to learn and work on it. So we have to do it in our feelings as well. That is what Abraham was asking. In order to have a complete human satisfaction, not only rational satisfaction, human satisfaction, Abraham asked God. God didn't say, what are you doing? Since you believe, you must submit. No. I have to tell the same thing. I believe in God, that's it. And you have to follow a religious tradition. No. I must take it to my feelings and have this digestion system also working there. I have to take it, which is much neglected aspect of belief matters. We keep using, no, we have to have taqwa, we have to have khushu', we have to fear of God. What do they mean? Of course, they are related to feelings, but how belief, intellectual conclusion should happen and then brought into the heart. How should I do that? We have to clarify what is taqwa. Not much explained. Fear of God or consciousness of God. Consciousness of God, okay, is intellectual understanding that there is a creator. It is very essential. I don't really de-evaluated in my life. It is very essential. Yeah, but how about my feelings? That is why I learn here by generalizing the request of the Prophet Abraham, not only believe in the hereafter, resurrection needs to be brought into the feelings and digest there and feel satisfied about it. Other elements, articles of belief also must be subject to the same process. Do I believe in Qadr? Do I believe in the messenger? Do I believe that that God speaks to humankind with human language? These needs to be worked on. That is the generalization of it. Okay. Now, if we are happy so far, which is a very essential verse actually, very important verse. So give us an example. God said, take 4 birds. Okay? And, okay, I can do that. Take 4 birds and train them to come back to you. Yeah, I can do that too. Because there are some people, very well, I remember from my childhood in the same neighborhood, there were some friends, young children, teenager-like young children, they were fond of birds and they had their pigeons, group of pigeons. They just let them go and they come back. I experienced this physically. Okay, then place them on separate hill nests. The problem that we are usually facing with and understanding that that is a miracle comes from the word juz'an. Ala kulli jebelin minhunna juz'an. This is the dispute, matter of dispute among scholars. Juz'an means parts. Some scholars understood it, put them into, cut them, kill them, put them into pieces, because they said juz'an. But it is also understandable that even grammatically, it's so. Kullu jebelin minhunna juz'an, one by one. How it is translated here? Then place them on separate hilltops, separately, not all together, separately. Tineke sayen, they will come back to you flying, running, sayen. Again. Well, what we have to do, we have to pay attention in this word here. Fesurhunne ileyke. Train them to come back to you. It means learn the nature of the birds, how they can be trained. Now, this is important. We are going to generalize this news of the Quran. I'll come back there, definitely. And know that God is almighty and all-wise. The one, let's generalize and get the universal message of the verse. Now, the one who creates the universe has created it in such a way that we can get familiar with the nature of the things, creatures. For example, I have never studied how the cell is functioning. I never really experienced how the living beings are developing in a lab condition under the electronic telescopes? No, I have never really seen any telescopes now under the microscope for the cell and telescope for the sky and huge, for example, Hubble telescope. They say it is you can see galaxies as well comfortably. All right, I have never seen them, but some people are. Some people have. It is their specialty. They made them what is the word here? Train them to come back to you. They trained the things become familiar to them, how their nature is, the way their what's the word? Their okay. Their nature. I was looking for another word for it. The way they are created. We have to learn this. When we study the things, anything, everybody has a specialty in some way. So somebody may be specialized how the teeth grow and decays. A tooth grows and decays, and how to repair it, and the best way of, I don't know. I have no idea. But some people really train the teeth to be subjugated to his or her own treatment. Now, somebody may see that it is a very arbitrary way of interpreting the verse. To me, it is not arbitrary at all. The Quran must be understood at a universal level like this. We cannot go back to Abraham's life, Abraham's time, and ask there and train the birds. And we all know that. The falcons are really resting on the people's finger, and they point to a bird, prey up there, and then they say, go. They go, catch the bird and come back and bring it to their master. It means get familiar with their nature and they will come back to you. Now, for human beings, what is it to do with this example? For me, as far as this example is concerned, for human beings, we see the universe. How you and I see that, look, if somebody keeps repairing the iPhones, first day, not first day, first year, it is very hard, very complicated, and it takes a long time, or memorize the Quran, some verses of the Quran. You have to keep repeating, get familiar with it. Yep. And what was the word? Train them, train yourself in the, for example, telephone, get familiar with it. And what happens after 5 years of experience of repairing the telephone? Oh, you can do it easily. That is how the universe demonstrates to me that, look, every season, the things go and come back. The universe, the living beings die. Universe continues to change. Galaxies die. Stars die. And new stars are created. The one who is recreating everything for your logic, for your intellect, can you not understand that the one who is continuously doing it in this life of the universe, you are experiencing it, can he not do it within the capacity of your experience? Be careful, your experience, not God is absolute. That's your conclusion. No, within the capacity of your experience, does not your logic accept and confirm that the one who is really giving life to animal beings, giving life to planets and galaxies, and then recreating, continuously renewing their creation at every moment? Can he not do the same thing again? Now, I can experience it now. I don't have to ask for a miracle to create to me. I'm not criticizing, but breaking the order. No, even within the order, because to create the miracles for the prophet is within the order, but not experienced. That's the difference at this point. So we can also experience it in our life, that the universe is created in such a way that the one who is giving existence to it continuously, as if training the things to go and come back again, to go and come back again. Can he not do it again? Another way of scatter, separate puts, so which says, juz'an. Now, really, we can experience it in the universe that so delicately everything is distinguished from each other. There is no confusion in the order of the universe, creation of the universe. Delicately arranged everything. We see that if you take 1,000 different seeds of plants, practical example, put it in the same soil, put the same water, what happens? What happens? Every seed comes up with its own nature, the way it is created. The external factors, water, soil, whatever, the same soil, and the sunlight, everything is the same, doesn't have any effect. The cell is coded in such a way, in a meticulous way, that the cell is not coded differently from each other, are not confused at all, which means the creator of the universe never ever confuses the creation of anything. Everything is distinguished. So the birds are separated and put into different hilltops. Doesn't matter. They keep their nature because the creator has trained them in this way, and we know that their creation also continues to renew it. So there is no way to have suspicion for me now, without asking any miracles, by observing the creation as much as I know now. But Abraham's conditions are different in his time. He thought in a human being, as a human being in his own time, within the conditions of their time, and this example is applicable to their people, not so I cannot really bring it exactly to my life now and imitate Abraham. It is not the way of understanding the universal message of the Quran. This verse last week was towards the end of the discussion, and I was really disturbed by something else, then I couldn't really concentrate on it. And when I received the question from my friend Afshan, I talked afterwards with one of my friends that who are taking the notes. I said, don't write anything about Baqarah 260, because we need to study it really in depth. That is why all belief matters must go through the stage from reasoning and belief to satisfaction of the feelings. It would believe in mind, and completion of the belief in mind via or through the satisfaction of the feelings. We have to do these two stages combined, followed one other, and also see the miraculous creation of the universe as evidence to the reality of the pillars of belief, articles of belief, whatever you call them. And any matter, believing in angel, believing in revelation and the prophethood, necessity of the prophethood, and the believing in the hereafter and the resurrection, and believe in the divine determining. God is determines everything. I have a free will, and I can communicate within the determinate universe and choose. God says, I will keep my word. Whatever you choose, I will decide. I will create for you until you die and go away from this creation. It means until I take you out of this creation. That is how we have to go through. We are not studying the other pillars of belief. We are just learning the method of establishing our belief in fullest sense, but not the level one, but in a complete, but certain level complete within this level or on this level. So mind and heart must be satisfied together. Today, I think, before going to Abraham, being a model, it is a different subject, not the same subject as far as the life of the Prophet Abraham is concerned, but a different perspective of his experience now. Inshallah, let's week. Any concern, question?
I have a comment, not really a question.
Of course.
Something that came to my heart when I was so to building on what you were saying about explaining the Abraham asking Allah to show him like a physical example. One thing I was thinking is that this seems like it could be like an allegory for, spiritual death and actual death. If you go back to the verse, because he says, train the birds to come back to you. So like undergo this like spiritual training, like God is spiritually training us, test them, place them on the hilltops, test them, and then call them back. So they're, either you go through an actual death and you're called back to God in the next life, or you're just, Allah is asking you as you're going through the test, like, are you going to return to me? And then the trained birds come. So like those who are trained and really take the training, return to God in this life and in the next life, like in heaven and Jannah, inshallah. So it seems like this, like you were saying, it could be Abraham asking, can you explain the nature of, how exactly it works, like how resurrection works through an example that I can see, that I can, prove sort of, in this life. If that makes, I don't know if what I said made sense, but it seemed like it could be like an allegory for like spiritual training and returning to God.
Yeah, spiritual training, of course, this word is a sensitive word. What do you mean by spiritual training? This is not a questioning way that, what do you mean by it? But friendly, really, it is somehow understood generally, not the results of the reasoning as what we reason about something and reach a conclusion and then take it to our feelings, whether they can confirm it or reject it. Feelings must confirm it. If the feelings do not agree, for example, somebody said to me that, look, when we age, our body doesn't function anymore. Life doesn't function anymore. I say, yeah, that is what I see. So when body doesn't function, it means we die. Yeah, correct. Yeah, we die. When we die, what happens? We disappear. That's it. We get rotten because we lose our consciousness, we lose our sensual side, so we don't feel anything. That's it. A lot of people believe that. And that's it. That's the end of my existence. That is how my existence happened to be in this world and ended up in this world. And logically, it makes sense. Logically, yeah, that is what we are experiencing here. But senses say, our sensual side, my sensual side say, I want everything perfect. Where did I get this idea, this feeling? How did I get it developed? Everybody who goes to shop wants to get the best one, the cheapest one, and the best looking one, best quality one. And at the end, since it is going to perish away, why do I bother to make my temporary life to be the best, where all these feelings, I like this, I don't like this, this is beautiful, this is much beautiful, this is useful, this is not, all these feelings, enjoyment or how do you say, dissatisfactions, where do they come from? I want an existence, if it is possible, if it was possible, not to deteriorate in this world, not to get old, active and able to get everything. And now, where did I get? It is against my reality, but I have this feeling, contradiction. So this idea must be rejected because it is not digestible by my human side. It is what? Thrown away. Why? It is foreign to my human nature. Thrown away. This experience is needed. For example, you get, let's say it is, I think we are almost in the same time zone. So you get your dinner, beautiful, let's say you are eating pomegranate and you love it. You love it. So take the pomegranate, reflect on it, and feel enjoyment. feel enjoyment that, look, this cannot happen by itself. There is a beautiful design, color, packaging within each other, seed in it, the skin and covering, the quality of the skin and the tissue of each being in the existence of the pomegranate. I say, my reasoning says it cannot happen by accident. My existence cannot happen by accident, and there must be a purpose. When I go through these kind of experiences, because my feelings love the pomegranate. What is that? What is that? My body, my life, my life. But my feelings, where did I get them? Do you think my body produces feelings? So this kind of way of reasoning is spiritual training, if you like. It means experiencing, changing not only what you are saying. This is a pomegranate, there is a creator, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, and eat it. No, spiritual training is needed there. I don't understand with the other types of spiritual training. For example, looking at the sky, watching the sunrise, sunset. These are the admirable times for my feelings to experience that the creation is a beautiful example for me to enjoy. Otherwise, this very frequently used word, spiritual training, apart from this dialogue between the existence of the universe, the way the things are created, and my feelings exchange of dialogue, and I like it, I enjoy it, I see many different things in it, qualities in it. All these are to be taken into account and reflected on it and used through our feelings. That's what I understand, my friend Rachel, with spiritual training. For example, we can sit and we cannot imagine emptiness. Why? Emptiness is emptiness, non-existent. There is nothing empty in the universe. Everywhere is full of lots of different minute creatures. So I have to have an evidence, a base to interact with through my reasoning first, and then feelings. Do I enjoy it? Do I like it? These feelings are not matter. Beauty is not matter. Something love for my mother is not matter. Why do you love your friends, your mother, your relatives, whatever, whoever you love? And you don't like some things in the world, yeah, rotten things, for example. No one likes to eat out of a trash can. Even there is a good food there, no, I don't want it. So if I invite you and present you a beautiful, very nice smelling food in a obviously dirty place, and throw it in front of you and said, Rachel, eat it. If you like. Would you eat it? No, I wouldn't. So bringing the food in a plate and presenting it to you and said, "Phew," and then, Rachel, eat it. How would you feel? Your stomach upset. It's not physical thing happened to your stomach, but you feel like throwing. What? What is affecting you? These kind of reflections are spiritual training. But otherwise, not having any substantial base, and let me think, or I don't know, whatever they do, spiritual training. Let me say La ilaha illallah 1,000 times tonight. Okay. If you don't mean what La ilaha illallah, if you don't contact the related examples throughout your life, La ilaha, of course, this morning I had a breakfast. It is not the source of its own existence. All the creation is beautifully arranged and presented to me in the way that I understand. I appreciate it. I love it. Out of dirt, all the plants come, and everything is beautiful. Dirt is not there in their existence. Your feelings feel so comfortable about it. So you say, look, the way I am created loves the source of existence of these kind of creations in the universe. So I feel much more comfortable now in my existence, that my existence belongs to the creator of this beautiful plant, for example. So this is the very realistic way of spiritual training. That's why I learned from the Quranic examples and the life of the Prophet. There is no imaginary spiritual training, repetition, and saying that my heart will be satisfied. Nobody else will be satisfied as far as I understand, and I tried. Nobody's heart will be really humanly through the life of the Prophet and the content of the Quran. Also, I understand, and experiencing my own reality, and the reality of the universe is there. Everything is physically presented to us. Example of the Prophet never says, okay, imagine. No, but the Quran and the example of the Prophet uses the word say this, but saying this as an intellectual being, a human being, what does it mean? Get involved in it. Qul huwa Allahu ahad. Okay, I said Allahu ahad. Finish. Huwa ahad. Finish. What do I mean? Do I get any satisfaction at all? 1,000,000 times, I believe that because other way around is not experienced, and some people, not you or our friends here, some people may not be able to do that, majority of the people, but you can. So we cannot expect them to do this because they are not. First of all, they have not really satisfied in their mind, apart from a simple conclusion that universe definitely needs a creator. Correct. As we said, saying that God is somewhere up, not within the matter itself, that's not. That is the belief. We cannot say they don't believe, but experience-wise, everybody must use their capacity. That's my long response to your concern, if you don't mind, because it is not a criticism at all. All right? Any further? So we have to really, time is really late. Let's stop, inshallah. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Subhanaka la ilma lana illa ma 'allamtana innaka antal alimul hakim wa akhiru da'wana alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Think about it, everyone. And if you are not satisfied, we can talk about it, because this verse is the heart of this matter. Rational conclusion and satisfaction of satisfy. That is satisfaction of our heart, feelings. How are we going to combine that? Looking at the creation, miraculous creation, seeing the miraculousness of the creation of everything in the world, and concluding that my heart only be trained, spiritual training can take place in this way. God didn't say spiritual training, go, Abraham, to satisfy your heart. Take this word, La ilaha illallah, and say it 1 million times, that's it. There is no such example in anywhere, in any tradition of the Prophet and the Quran. But it doesn't mean that we shouldn't say La ilaha illallah. Say, remember and apply it. Look at the sky. Look at everything around you. Look at the bird, an animal, anything, any human being next to you. You are in the train, but I know you live, there's no train there. So in New York, people's life generally pass in subways. So there are human beings. Look at them, how wonderful creatures they are. And apply it to them, you will understand definitely that spiritual training is possible. As the Quran says, take 4 birds, train them, get used to into the nature of these birds, and then you will understand that the one who creates them will bring them comfortably back into again in a even higher level of existence. Look, physical example is given by God. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Okay, inshallah, I didn't confuse and wasted your time, extra time. Wassalamu alaikum.